Hey friends, it's Natasha. So today I'm going to show you the materials that I'll be using for a United States Social Studies unit study, but it's really a semester-long study. And so the base for this study is actually the Lakeshore Learning United States resource box. So I'm going to link that video above because I show you inside that. Last semester we did the Lakeshore Learning Landforms and Mapping resource box, and it was so much fun, and I'm so excited to dive into the United States resource box. Last year we did American History with Knotgrass, Our Star-Spangled Story, but this United States resource box covers different topics than that did. So this covers things like the Pledge of Allegiance, monuments and symbols, seals, like the Statue of Liberty, Liberty Bell, Stars and Stripes, Lincoln Memorial, the branches of government, election process, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the White House. And so, although we've already done American history, this is really more United States social studies. And I think it's just going to be perfect for us for this next semester. So basically my plan is to do this once a week. And I've broken this down into 17 weeks. And that still gives us a little leeway if we get behind because our semester will be about 20 weeks long. So of course I could condense this and do this every day for a short amount of time, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do it once a week as a long-term type unit study. So basically what I've done is I've gone through the book that comes in the United States resource box, and I've broken down the activities by kind of their topic, and I've listed any activities we're going to be doing from that resource box, and then I've added books along to it. And so that's how I broke this up. And so basically the first week is just going to be an introduction and vocabulary and a little bit about United States geography. And so I don't have a book for that, but I might try to find one, but every other week has a book. So let me show you our book and our books and our plans. So the first thing I have here is the Social Studies Music Collection by Harcourt School Publishers. And this is just something that I picked up at Goodwill, and it has just different patriotic songs on it. And so that I thought would be really fun. But of course you could just go online on YouTube and look for some patriotic songs to use. And then this book is by Memoria Press. It's Stories of Great Americans for Little Americans. And this is part of the second grade Memoria Press enrichment. It's also part of the Simply Classical Level 3 by Memoria Press as part of their summer plan. So grade 2 and level 3 of Simply Classical cross over a lot. And anyways, this book is used, and this book is Stories of Great Americans for Little Americans, and like it says, and there are 49 chapters. And so basically what I plan to do with this is read a chapter out of this 3 days per week. Again, that gives us a little bit of leeway if we get behind. This will be part of our bedtime reading, and so this will bring a little bit more kind of history and famous Americans and that sort of thing into our study. And we've probably read a lot about all of these things before, but some of these things will be new or will be told in a different way that we haven't learned yet. And so you can see these chapters are short, and so they won't take much time. So this will be added to our bedtime reading as just kind of a supplement to this study. All right, now let's get into the books we'll be using along with my plans here. So I have this book, Red, White, Blue, and Uncle Who, the stories behind some of America's patriotic symbols. And I've broken this down like when we're learning about the Statue of Liberty, I've labeled page 28. But for a couple weeks, we will not have a specific symbol. We'll be looking at multiple monuments and symbols. And so I filled in here any pages that weren't already specified somewhere else in my plan. But let me give you a look here at the contents. So as you can see, it covers lots of different American symbols like the flag and the Capitol, the Korean War Memorial. I thought that was interesting. The Statue of Liberty, all those things. And then it just gives some information about each one. So here's the information on the flag, for example. And then we have flag vocabulary, flag code rules. Then we have information about the eagle, and then the Great Seal, and the Liberty Bell, and so forth. So these are just short little informational nuggets here about all of the patriotic symbols. And then I have how the U.S. government works. We'll be going through this book over the course of 4 weeks when we are studying the branches of government and election. And this is by Barron's. It covers the Congress, executive branch, the president jobs, the courts, judges. Now you know your job, glossary and index. You can see the font is pretty big. Got the branches of government there. And just from looking at this book and flipping through it, I feel like it explains everything in a pretty easy to understand way. I like this glossary here too. I really think that's neat. And then there's an index. I have, if you were there when they signed the Constitution, this is recommended in Memoria Press as well. This is a bit of a longer book, even though it's small. And then we have the 4th of July story. I feel like this book is pretty much in every curriculum out there. And this is also recommended by Memoria Press. But you guys have probably seen this book before. It is a picture book, but it's also kind of broken into chapters. And so we won't be reading this in one sitting. This will be over the course of a few days. I have this Usborne book. It's a Shine a Light book. I love these Shine a Light books. They are so fun. This is Wonders of the USA. And so we have, you know, the White House, Mount Rushmore, Statue of Liberty, Independence Hall, Mardi Gras, NASA's Mission Control Center, Grand Canyon, and so forth. So this book is really cool, and you essentially shine a light, and then you can see things when you shine a light. There you go. See, I'm shining a light. These are really cool to do in the dark. But anyway, I have that when we're learning about the monuments and symbols. I have this My America, a Poetry Atlas of the United States. And we will conclude our study with an American-themed poetry tea time. And so I thought this book would go great with that. But this book is super neat because it breaks down the states and it has like the capital and the bird and the flower and the tree and the area and all these things. But then it has poems. How cool is that? And it's illustrated. I just thought this was such a neat book to have. And I was so glad that I came across this. I found this at a thrift store, of course. See, there we go, the Southeast states. And then we have poetry. So this is something super cool that we'll be using in our poetry tea time and also just reading through a little bit. And then we have Your Grand Old Flag, a jubilant song about Old Glory. And this was a book I think I picked up for free, actually. It's an old library book. But it just goes through the song. Just a nice, lovely picture book here. And then, isn't that cool? You can make a grand old Stars and Stripes windsock. And then it gives you some website here and some more books there. Has the music there. So I thought this book was pretty neat too, especially since I got it for free. Whoop. And then we have the Star Spangled Banner. This also is recommended by Memoria Press. And here's a collection of flags of the American Revolution and those of the United States of America, its government, and its armed forces. So that is super cool. And then we have the same thing here with a song put to the illustrations. And then in the back, so after we go through the song, we again have the music. And then we have some information here to read. So the story of the Star Spangled Banner, war declared, Baltimore attacked, an anthem conceived in battle, a flag's journey. There's some more flags there. And so those are all of the resources we will be using for our social studies unit on the United States. And I hope that gave you some great ideas. I will link all of these books down below in case you are interested in them. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.